shake me. Drop D and flying V is the shake me. I don't think it's lap. I think it is shake me. Because the flying V and drop D, there's only don't drink and shake me. Unless it's something new, it's not bartender because it's a 6 string versus the 12 string.
Now get to the side.
Check 1, 2. Yeah, that's how they ended. That's how they ended the encore tonight. And I think I just laugh at stuff like this because it's kind of a joke that a lot of diehard fans, including myself, we don't care for Shake Meh like a monkey. And so there you go. Shake Meh closing it down. And what a shocker here. All right, we're gonna roll the post show stream intro here. Hold on, give me one moment, folks. Let me get that intro for you.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998. And if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Shout out to everyone in Saratoga Springs, New York. Albany, New York. What up? Troy, New York. I hope Troy's in the building. Shout out to everyone in Troy. Schenectady used to be a very big radio city. Shout out to Schenectady. Glens Falls, what up? All my people in Glens Falls. Lickety Lake, George, New York. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all my wildlife in the Catskill Mountains. I know y'all streaming too, right? Shout out to everyone in Oneonta, SUNY Oneonta. What up? Newburgh and Poughkeepsie. Shout out to y'all just down the Hudson River. Shout out to all the brave cadets at West Point. Army, what up? What else? What are some other cities? I think I hit all the major cities out here. Utica, you're a little further away. Utica, some real good Fish shows out in Utica back in the day. So, and it's your boy Concert Viz 34. We're gonna take a look at this set list here, and one of the things I want to do today is just kind of give you a comparison of what's been going on. I've been to every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday show in the last 4 weeks. All right. I did Hartford night. I did Mansfield on Friday. I did Hartford on Saturday. The following weekend, I did Deer Creek 1 and 2 on Friday and Saturday. I then went to Alpine for Saturday and Sunday of last weekend. And now your boy is in upstate New York. And I'm going to be doing both Spickety SPAC Night 1, which I just came back from, and SPAC Night 2. Thank you for everyone who's watching live. If you're watching the replay, thank you guys as well for watching. And I do want to just say, again, it's been a blessing to be able to go to all these weekends in a row and really see some of the major venues, right? First, we had Hartford, which is still a one night stand, but has a lot of history with the band. Yes, I'm gonna need a vacation from the vacation. Although this past week, I did sleep a little bit more because I was back home. I'll be back home Sunday as well. So I will. I mean, there were nights that I just was out cold. I was out cold. Actually, what was it? I believe it was last night. Oh no, last night I went to a Roots concert, but the night before that, Wednesday, I was out cold on the couch. But there is something about SPAC, and that's going to be my little headline here. Shane, if you want to, Shane's in the comments. Shane was at Deer Creek, right? And he's at SPAC right now. He says hi from New York. But there is something about SPAC that, now that I've gone to all the major venues, Deer Creek, Alpine, well, really, it's the Holy Trinity is in the name of Alpine, SPAC, and the Gorge I'm in. There is nothing like a SPAC crowd. Okay. There are elements of Deer Creek that are better, of Alpine that are better, of other venues that are better, but there is nothing like a SPAC crowd. Plain and simple. There's nothing like it. There are negatives to SPAC. The lawn is horrible. And I really shout out to all the people on the lawn, though, because I understand if you want to physically be in the presence of the greatness of Dave in SPAC, it's not affordable. And it's not only not affordable, just to give you guys context, right? The seats at SPAC are the hardest tickets to get all year. So I understand when people have to be on lawn, but the lawn is trash. It's not the fault of the awesome people at the venue. I mean, it's just the way the venue was constructed decades ago. But the lawn, but you can still have fun on the lawn. It's just, I think some people will find it hard, even if you like a lawn at a Deer Creek, at even a Hartford or Mansfield. It's just, it's extremely hard for me. Typically, if I don't have seats, I just don't show up. But the seats are amazing, right? There's 5,103 seats. Most venues have about 7,000 seats, if not more. So physical seats. So there's not a lot. And just to set the scene, if you're watching this and you're not familiar with SPAC, the reason it's a hard ticket is before any tickets go on sale, you have the donors. People donate money to the arts. There's a lot of arts, ballet, symphonies that they need to be funded, and they're funded by donors. And shout out to those donors who do donate to help the arts go on. I'm somebody who was raised playing clarinet. I believe in the arts, and I think that it's great that they still have these things here. And the popular concerts, right? People who want to get stuff to that revenue helps fund the arts. So you have a bunch of donors and you have season ticket holders at higher levels than most venues that have seats to Dave automatically before anyone else gets them. So let's just say it's 1,000 or 2,000 people. That means that 5,000 goes to 3,000 seats. And then even to that, you have other pre-sales and you have warehouse. And it's the hardest ticket to get by far, to get anything inside. But once you're inside, you saw the opening video. I was at the back. I was a couple rows from the lawn. That's how great it is. But with the double-decker setup, it makes for a great upper deck. But the negative is the lawn is bad. But there is, the thing about SPAC is the crowd is knowledgeable, right? Not everyone looks at a set list like I does, but they know their music. They know the classics. They know some of the new stuff. They know the stuff in between, right? And they know the music. And the loudest parts of tonight were louder than anything else that I heard at Alpine, at Deer Creek, right? Right. It it was louder when every day. That let's start there. Okay. And this is where I say, listen, let the crowd dictate what's popping or not. Okay. This was the tour debut of Every Day. I did not want Every Day to come back. I don't like I love Buddy. And I actually like what it does for Buddy. It gives people respect for Buddy Strong. But I don't like Every Day. I didn't really like it with Boyd either. It's a beautiful song. I actually don't mind the studio version that much. I just don't like it live. It doesn't go anywhere to me. But when the crowd reacts, when the crowd is excited as they were tonight for Every Day, what am I going to say? Right? It got the crowd excited. And it was the loudest point I've heard all tour in the 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 8. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my 7th show of the tour. Okay. And they actually played 7. That's funny. The 7th show of the tour. This was my 40th show of all time for me personally, and they played 41. So maybe for my 41st show, they'll play 40 to do a little bit of a reverse there. Oh, wait, no, this is show 39. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Oh, no, this is show 40. It is show 40. Correction, it is show 40. It's not showing up yet until it's not going to show up for a couple hours. This was show number 40. So tomorrow is show number 41. I hope I get number 40 and a shotgun. But this crowd was so loud, and some of it has to do with the way things bounce off the ceilings and all that. But this crowd was louder than Alpine. It was louder than Deer Creek, right? And those venues have things that make it better than SPAC. Even and look at Shane. Shane was at Deer Creek, right? Everyone was loud AF, right? So he was at Deer Creek. Now Deer Creek had no Tim Reynolds. There was obviously they had to make some adjustments. There was the Encore was really, although I think they were going to do like Stay or something anyway, so it wasn't going to be like something crazy. Mark says there's good spots on the lawn, just have to know where to go, but there's also some very, very bad views. Yeah. Shane's right. We walked up with great weather, years past, humidity in here brutal. I think overall, and this may just be, I don't want to make a debate if it's climate change or not, but this year, Alpine didn't have humidity. Deer Creek was hot, but it wasn't humid. Deer Creek was just hot. It was not the typical Midwest humidity. So there's been a lack of humidity. Now, DTE, shout out to Tony C if you're watching. DTE was extremely hot, and Tony C was actually at the Santana show. He was the one who actually told me about what was going on there with Santana. We want to just send our best to Santana. We also want to send our best to John Mayer's father, who appears to be okay. Yeah, there was no humidity at Alpine. It was, sitting out in the sun. You felt the sun, but it was not humid. There was no humidity, even in Chicago. I know they have the lake wind, but there was no humidity. I don't know what to tell you. But what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that now Tony C Michigan has had some very hot weather. For DMB, it was hotter there than Alpine and Deer Creek. Shout out to Jessica and her husband Wayne. They were at Alpine, Deer Creek, and DTE in Detroit. So it's funny, we have all these people that have different shows they've seen, but they could attest that it was the hottest show that they went to out of Alpine, Deer Creek, and DTE was Detroit. You would have thought Detroit more further north would have a little bit cooler weather. Nope. There's some weird things going on in the weather, and yeah, I'm glad Carlos is okay. And also John Mayer. I did make an error on social media. Sources were saying that his father passed. And, some of this Dead and Company stuff, some of the stuff I've heard from different sources was very solid all year. It appears something that was being reported was false. And that happens. I mean, it happens everywhere. Oh yeah, it's Pine Knob. Yeah, I made a whole video on that. If you guys check my YouTube channel, I made a video on how it's Pine Knob. I'm still calling it DT. DTE is paying me to say that. I'm just kidding. I'm playing. And thank you guys for being on. I just want to thank. I was talking to some people, fans of the show, and one of them actually is works at this venue. So I was just talking to them after the show. They wanted to meet up. So salute to everyone that I was able to see today. I did not hear No Quarter at the beginning of Don't Drink the Water. But this show, I mean, the crowd is everything. And the other thing is just the view. Again, the pavilion. I was at the back of the pavilion. The views were great. But this show had limited, like, take away that, like, let's talk about the main set first, right? So we start off with this 41. Some people wanted One Sweet World. The Yankees won too. I didn't even check. Oh my gosh. The Yankees won too. 12-5. Yeah. So, the Red Sox were trying to take this series, right? Take 3. At first, they were trying to sweep, and now 3 out of 4. Now they only can split. So tough times for the Red Sox. But hey, the Yankees. Listen, Tony C. The biggest thing, the reason I'm not on my high horse with baseball. How many times have we seen both the Yankees and Red Sox have great regular seasons and not hit in the postseason, or not make before the expanded wild cards? How many times were the Red Sox up at this time of year in July, and the Yankees came back to win the division, and then they used to win World Series? Not anymore. We used to win World Series, maybe not so much now. It's been since 2009. Stay or leave. I want you not to blow the big games. Please judge it in the postseason. Anyway, let's stay focused. So this show, I love 41 Open. It was a 41st full band show. Take away Dave and Tim. I saw Dave and Tim here in 17. Take away other side stuff. 41, I think, was a great opener. I wanted it more than One Sweet World. My opinion on One Sweet World, I need it sparingly. And I already heard it, I think, twice this year. It's a beautiful song. I am not, without that intro, without that old school intro they had, I think it needs to be used sparingly. What I love about 7 is it's only been played 3 times this year. Now, historically, they've reduced it significantly, but I think that what made this show great, you have a song like 7, yes, it comes up, but it's only been played 3 times this year. And I've gotten a little further away from I've moved further away from the big whiskey heavy 2012s and 13s. They were still playing it a lot back then. So I like 7, and they do 27. And Dave said we're playing all the numbers. He was joking about that. I said we're playing all the numbers. Now at the 4 spot, I will say, at the 4 spot, I was hoping for Big Eye Fish. Now Gray Street was awesome. I was singing at the top of my lungs during Gray Street. But I was, when Dave took out that 12-string guitar, right? I was so hoping that it was going to be Big Eye Fish into a Bartender. Still amazing show, though. All I'm saying is at that time, I was hoping for a Big Eye Fish. I think it would have been great there. It did not get played. I do think we're going to get Big Eye Fish tomorrow. Funny the way it is, wasn't that bad. Like, I don't want it in sets per se, but it wasn't that bad. I don't dislike the song. I just prefer other songs over it. Don't Drink had a little extended prelude there. Again, the crowd likes it. A lot of you guys like it. I just don't. I think in the post Roy era, it's too fast. I don't know. I like it, Dave and Tim. Now, typical situation. I thought it was awesome to have this so early. Now, it was the 7th spot, but typically I've gotten it a lot at the end of sets. Excuse me. Typical was really really good. The only thing was solid, and this is my second time hearing it. Um, Here I heard it Alpine Weekend for the first time. Went to 10 shows last year, didn't get the only thing. The first 4 shows I went to didn't get the only thing. But I like that song. I like it. We'll see how it grows after I hear more and more. The Nancy's into Fool in the Rain was awesome. I did say on Twitter, I said, hey, I think we're going to get Fool in the Rain again. This is because historically, this is what the band's done, right? I was at the spontaneous tribute to the Rolling Stones in Guilford, New Hampshire, and they ended up playing that again, right? They played it in SPAC, I believe. They also played it at the Gorge where I was there. So I had a feeling that Fool in the Rain was going to be played one of these 2 nights. It was played at the 10 spot. Now, at the Alpine show, it was a complete shocker. And also, the Alpine show was a Saturday show. Even though it was Saturday, Sunday for Alpine, this night one had the most energy for Alpine. And Rashawn said something about that on the Sirius XM radio, apparently, that night one of Alpine was the most energy of the whole tour, in his opinion. So it was expected that I was going to have a little bit less of a shock, but people were still going nuts. I had some first show people next to me, and they were enjoying that. So Right, always a great song. Madman's Eyes was really cool as well. Starting to get more plays in that. It is starting to kind of flow into a situation where it's like it's not as fresh to me. I mean, as far as in my mind, I've heard it so many times now, but I still think it's an awesome dark song that is great. And to me, it's better than some of the, when I'm thinking about some of like the Samurai Cop type stuff that came for Come Tomorrow, I like Madman's Eyes better than that now that I've had a bunch of plays of it. You and Me was a great bathroom break thing. I said on Twitter too. After all these great songs, I needed to get a bathroom break. So I sprinted to the bathroom and sprinted back. Thank God I made it for Say Goodbye. One of the cool things, one of my favorite parts of the run of going to all these major venues is I've had 2 drive-in drive-outs. I've heard every drive-in drive-out this year. And to me, I never had heard it before this year live. I've been wanting it for years, and I finally got it, and I got 2. Right, I Say Goodbye. I think I only had like 2 plays of it, maybe 3 before 2022. I think I had 3. Yeah, I think I had 3. I don't know, I can't remember. But the thing is, I've had 3 Say Goodbyes. I think I've heard every Say Goodbye this year. I don't know. I've heard 2 or 3. But again, I've heard at least twice in the last couple of weeks. So awesome. But I don't mind the You and Me there. And also the other thing too, when you go to both nights like me of a SPAC, I root for some of these so-so songs we played. I would have loved That Girl Is You to be fit in this set and Jimmy Thing. Because that means I don't have to worry about That Girl Is You and Jimmy Thing coming in. We still may get, don't get it twisted. I know it's SPAC. We may get a That Girl Is You opener tomorrow. Right? It may not be the Stone or Big Eye Fish and the Bartender. It may be That Girl Is You. It opened up Alpine, folks. Okay? If it can open up Alpine, it could easily open up SPAC. I think SPAC has better set lists, in my opinion, and SPAC has the number 40 gem that no other venue has, that special type of song like number 40, those partials and teases and full versions from SPAC. But that's the thing. That's kind of one of the negatives of this year, at least for me, is the fact that you could travel all the way to Alpine and get a That Girl Is You opener. I'm sorry. I don't want it as an opener. It could be in the middle of a great set. Now, the fact that those songs weren't played also made tonight great. Right? There was no She. Okay? I forgot what She sounds like because I haven't gotten it in a while. I'm happy about that. There was no Louisiana Bayou. I love the fact there was no Louisiana Bayou. Right? So Right and Some Devil on the baritone guitar. That's what made this show great. It was, the lows were very limited in the main set. Okay. Okay, if we go through the main set, songs that I probably wouldn't care for. Now, Don't Drink the Water is one. Some of you guys, and listen, I understand it's still it's a favorite by diehards too. Don't Drink the Water and You and Me are the two songs I would eliminate if I had the chance. Everything else, I'm fine. I'm fine with 7. Even Funny the Way It Is. Some of you guys may say I don't like Funny the Way It Is. But it wasn't like I don't mind it now. I don't know what it was. Something changed. I think the Buddy Strong era made me like Funny the Way It Is again. Now let's talk about the encore, okay? So the encore, we have Some Devil, right? At that point, I'm excited. I saw the baritone on the stage. I was talking to people behind me. I said, they're probably gonna open with Some Devil because, I don't see them closing on a Bayou, right? I think they're gonna do Some Devil. Dave's been overdue for it. It's a 2 of 2 now. And then they go into the Maker. At that point, me and everyone around me, we were convinced they're not gonna end on the Maker. They will end on Watchtower, which is a cover, but they're not gonna end on the Maker. So we're like, okay, we're gonna get a third song. My guess, looking at the guitars and everything, was PNP and the Rapunzel. Maybe that's what it was going to be, right? And then they changed guitars at the end of the Maker, but based on what they had in the Maker, Tim, I believe, had his Strat, and Dave had a standard tuning black guitar, and then Dave goes for the drop D tan guitar, and Tim goes for his Flying V. And just a pro tip, if we go to, I'm going to try to pull up this video. But if we go to, oops, you guys are going to, right. All right, so we stop the video here. So at this point, right, if you can see, Tim's guitar is the Flying V. Dave has his tan drop D guitar. If you want to know, the almost surefire way to know is Shake Me Like a Monkey. If they played Don't Drink the Water, is if you see the Flying V and the tan drop D. Those two guitars, that Flying V from Tim and the tan drop D from Dave, means it's either Don't Drink the Water or Shake Me Like a Monkey for 99.9% of the time. And they already played Don't Drink the Water, so I knew they weren't going to do a reprise. So then I knew it was Shake Me. There's no other song, because Ants has the Flying V, but Ants is a standard tuning guitar. So he's going to have his black guitar. But if you ever want to know if it's Shake Me or Don't Drink the Water, it's going to be that tan guitar, 6-string guitar. If you're close and you can see the 6 strings versus the 12, is for Dave. And then the Flying V, that's what it's really going to be. Because with Bartender, Tim doesn't use that. To my knowledge, he doesn't use that Flying V. John says he was in the car and in the Maker. well, now, again, I want to say, I don't like this encore. It didn't really make me upset because it's night 1. If this was night 2, it's a different story. And I can understand people maybe who only went to Friday. I mean, most times you don't want to just go to a night 1 if possible. I understand things, life, babysitters, all that stuff, right? You only can hire a babysitter for 1 day. Your kids have a soccer practice, or wife has this, or you have work, right? Some of you guys have jobs. Shout out to our truck drivers and shout out to our law enforcement, anyone who has crazy hours. I understand sometimes you only can get 1 day off. Shane says he was hoping for a two-step Halloween. That would have been awesome, just like MSG Night 1, which is down the road. Actually, I mean, it's a little further. That's what's funny about New York City. It's actually further from this part of New York than it is from my house in Connecticut. I'm closer to New York City than people in Saratoga Springs are, which is a whole different discussion about the uniqueness of New York. Yeah, so I mean, there could have been a better encore, but I think overall, listen, you're there. The main set was so flawless that the encore didn't bother me as much. Because to me, what hurts more, and I understand, listen, I get it. Some people don't like Shake Me, right? But what hurts more is when the main set is pierced with a bunch of songs that to me are mediocre, especially at the SPAC. That's when we have a bigger problem. The encore, okay, they have Some Devil, The Maker. You have a 3-set encore, so of course it's gonna, Shake Me is probably the only song that's gonna fit the time crunch, right? And I think that's why they did it. They said, listen, we'll give them the 3 songs, and then that's it. Now the set list did say solo Maker Shake Me, so they did listen. When you have a solo Maker Shake Me encore on the set list, hey, that Some Devil being the first song kind of makes it better. Oh, I didn't talk about two-step. That's the other thing. They closed the main set with two-step. So you're getting a main set that has After Every Day, which again still was a crowd pleaser. You have So Damn Lucky, Drive In, Drive Out, two-step. That's a really great 3-song ending. So Mickey says, last stop. I don't think anyone's going to crush you there. Halloween is beloved by certain people, but it's not beloved by everyone. And I think the big thing with Halloween, the last stop has the lyrics. Now, Halloween is love-hate because people who like heavier music, people who like heavier rock music will like Halloween, or that just want those emotions of if you've been through some really tough relationships. But Halloween is kind of just a song of screaming. The last stop has the screaming, but with a purpose, right? The message of the last stop is so much more powerful than the message of Halloween. Halloween is more like a punk rock Blink-182. And listen, I love Blink, but it's more like a Blink-182 song where the meaning doesn't mean as much, but it's emotional, right? Or emo, right? But it's powerful if you've been through a situation like Halloween where love is hell. But the last stop has, when it's in its full form, the last stop has a wonderful ending when it's in its full form. It's not truncated, right? The last stop has an awesome intro. It has the stops. Hey, after the stops, right? The last stop is just more of a complete song. It's a better all around song, right? Halloween is like Zion Williamson. Halloween can dunk a lot. It is powerful. No one can stop Halloween from getting 2 points. But Halloween can't make free throws. Halloween can't play good defense. Halloween gets injured a lot. And Halloween cannot shoot 3-pointers in a league that requires 3-pointers. The last stop is an all-around great player, right? The last stop can rebound. It's like Dominique Wilkins. It can rebound. It can be heavy in the paint. It can make some has a great post game, right? It's always going to score. Last stop is always going to score 25 points. When you're defending the last stop, you just don't want the last stop to get to 35 points. If you can hold them under 35 points, you win the game because the rest of the team the last stop is with isn't as good. But like Dominique Wilkins, right? If you held Dominique to 15 points, you were winning that game. There you go, sports analogy. Halloween puts a you could it. I think it's debatable. It gets some people going, but I mean, like a last like, and that's the biggest thing is last year at MSG, right? There's a lot of people chasing Halloween, and like a shout out to Aria, friend of the show. I'll hopefully see her tomorrow. Um, but the last stop will the last stop is more powerful than Halloween head to head. But yeah, Halloween will put up 50 points. It'll be like Shaq or like a real good big man. But it's only like it can be easily stopped, where last stop is on a whole nother level from the best album. Right. Well, Halloween is too, but the last stop is just it's a whole nother level to the song. Last stop is like Wilt Chamberlain. Kinda. Although, but the problem with Wilt Chamberlain is, yeah, I guess you could say he did. He played in the air. Well, I guess Wilton in the era would be good. So yeah, you could say he's like Wilt, just scoring and rebounding and defense. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Let's actually. Oh, Jojo is still on. We're gonna bring him on. Let's bring him on. Let me just set everything up. So we've had him on before, but I just want to take a little bit of time, and we're gonna wrap this up because I need to get some sleep. Some of you guys need to go to bed. Listen, if you're going to SPAC night too, get your sleep, drink your water. And anyone who's watching, if I did not get to you today, I apologize. Again, I was kind of, like I said, I was, there was, what I'll just say is that I was able to connect with someone from the venue that watches my streams, and that kind of like I was talking to them at the beginning of the show and then at the end, and I wanted to, because this is their venue, I wanted to just pay that respect, to just show my appreciation to them. So tomorrow, long story short, tomorrow I have more time to say what's up at shows, to check in with you guys at the tailgate. Some of the people that I've messaged and maybe didn't get out today, that'll be tomorrow. So yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't see it today. I will see you tomorrow. Plus, I was coming from work. It's coming from. I had to work today still, and I had to get. I kind of was able to leave Connecticut a little. Around 3:30, 4. I worked earlier shift. Shout out to Flex Time, and I was able to then get down to New York a little bit, but I was a little later than I hoped. Here. All right. So we're gonna bring on Jojo. How you doing, Jojo?
What's up, my man?
So I want to get your take. I shared my opinions, compared it to other venues, but what was your take on the show tonight at SPAC?
Well, I love you. We got a little problem here. So I got my kids here. It was their first show tonight ever, and they're
Wow.
big day. They know the catalog, but it's their first night. And I had Jen. We made those Buddy Strong T-shirts.
Yes.
You want one? And they were like, nah, I'm good. And after tonight, the youngest was like, hey, I want to order a Buddy shirt tomorrow. So they're a little frustrated with you tonight because you said you don't like the everyday. You don't like the Bayou. Like Buddy was money on both of those. I know it's not your stuff, but
Yeah.
how could you like that song? Let's talk about that for a minute.
So the reason I don't like that song is because it doesn't go anywhere. Like even every day, it's like, all right, lift me up, love, every day, all you need is like. To me, there's nothing intriguing about the actual song. It's a very positive, uplifting song.
They're all like because they're like, hey, the guy's vocals are great, like the honey, buddy.
Right.
So I mean, my first take on the set list was I wanted the kids to see a show that walk away and say, this is great. I mean, 41, 7, 27, Gray Street. Funny the way it is. Don't drink the water. Typical situation. That is one of the best starts we've seen all summer. Usually
Yeah.
it's low. We get some like a little good stuff, a little bad stuff.
Yep.
Like that was a pretty unbelievable rip for the beginning of a show, knowing they got 2 nights back. So I love that. Only thing, I only heard it twice, so I like that. Dancing Nancy's can't go wrong. Fool in the Rain, great cover. Still Right, another good song. I love the Madman's Eye. You and Me. It's fine if you don't like it. Go ahead, go to the bathroom break. That's fine. As far as like a regular set list goes, like that was the only slow song we saw all night. Say Goodbye every day. So damn lucky. Drive in, drive out. 2-step. What you didn't mention was, what do we get tonight? We got a time bomb intro. When's the last time that happened?
Oh, they've done it. I think they've done it a couple of times this
All
year.
right. It's still great, right? Like that's what everyone wants. So that was really good. Some Devil, The Maker. Love the Some Devil. I mean, no one would complain about that. The only thing I will complain about is we've talked about this off the record. I do not like Shake Me Like a Monkey as a closer. Like it really, I heard it in Homedale on a great set. That's the one thing that bothers me. But you got to look at tonight and say, I mean, short of that closer, I mean, I bet this is my 6th show this year. That's a hell of a set list for an.
Yeah, I will say though, yeah, Time Bomb. It was in Alpine. What's better than Time Bomb is when he improvs the lyrics. So he'll talk like, I think about Hollywood Bowl in 2006. I think about some of the giant stadiums, like the 2-steps where he literally will have this epic poem. Really, that's superior to Time Bomb, because the Time Bomb is great. I love Time. I actually wish I could have got it. I would have rather had that in the show than Shake Me. But yeah, but I think you make a great point, is that this was just a great set, a great night one. And for your kids that went to the show, this is the first set of the year where it's not split up with a bunch of so-so songs, until you get like, there was just nonstop greatness. And even the ones you could argue, right, like in Every Day, that. And I was in the minority. I was one of the few people, and listen, I was still singing, by my head, but most of that crowd was up for that song.
Like,
so.
Does Marcus not like Buddy?
No, Buddy's my favorite. I've defended him. I don't like the organ. I don't care who it is.
Listen. So we can agree to disagree. We'll talk about it tomorrow because you're going to be here. But to me, my oldest was like at song 11 said, "Dad, if we leave right now, this was unbelievable." You got to look, and for me, like it's a 2-night set. I'm like, what are we gonna get tomorrow? We're gonna get House. We're gonna get Jimmy Thing. We're gonna get Ants. We're gonna get it's still gonna be a good set. A Liberation. So Joe wants Smooth Rider, and I can't help but laugh. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. But hey, good for you. Like
it could. There was a Smooth Rider partial. And 20 now, I probably won't, but I got a Smooth Rider partial. They had a couple of those in 2013, I believe it was. I will say the fact that today was so good, it makes me concerned for tomorrow. Now tomorrow's still gonna have a bunch of crazy stuff.
We're gonna, what I'm hoping for, and I thought we get the guide fish opener, right? We might get that. We'll get Maybe we'll get bartender. Like, I the trouble with this weekend is you got Friday, Saturday, you got Tuesday, Wednesday in Guilford, and then you got Friday, Saturday, and then I think they take a break. But that's a lot of shows for them in a short time. That's tough to like mix it up, make it right. But for me, I will say 6 shows this year might be the best one I've seen. I just really don't like. I don't understand why "Shake Me Like a Monkey" is a closer. I just don't. It bothers me. It's just not. It's a great like 1 through 7. I don't know why that comes up as a closer, but hey, mixing it up, that's fine. I'm not gonna complain. But it's just not a song. Hey, I'll be like you. It's not one I love.
Right. I will say though, I think this is the best. This weekend is the best area for them stamina wise because they're used to these runs. Like last week, I mean, think about the week before this, they had to go to New Jersey, New York, and New Jersey, and then go back to the Midwest. So they did Deer Creek, New York, New Jersey, and then Alpine. Right, that is a hike. This week they have SPAC for 2 nights. Then they only have to go to New Hampshire. Same time zone, right? Unlike the Jersey to Alpine and switch back. So they're going from SPAC is going to be the best week, the best 2 runs shows. And then remember, they have a couple of days off. So they can leave everything on the floor
I hope so.
tomorrow or tonight, later today on the 9th. And then Guilford is just kind of like they'll throw in a couple rarities, but they're not going to go too hard at Guilford.
I would love to get bartender. Like, when's the last? You know better than us. When's the last time we've heard that?
Toronto. It was played in Toronto a couple weeks ago, right before my Hartford show.
Yeah, I was very tonight, really was, and I think the SPAC crowd is unbelievable. As you were there tonight, you were like,
yep,
whew, like it was banging.
Yep. And actually, speaking of fatigue, though, I think the biggest next concern is for Camden. And I was at SPAC night 2 in 2018, where the next night they had to go to Canada. For Camden, a week from today, on Saturday night, they got to do Friday, Saturday in Camden, and then Dave and Tim fly up to CMAC the next day. So it's a 3 in a row for Dave. And he's going to save a little bit of his voice for Sunday. So I really think Camden is the bigger. That's kind of why I ruled it out when I was even thinking about making some last minute ads, because they have Camden night 1, Camden night 2, and then they have to go from like South Jersey all the way up to upstate New York in a day, which is a private jet, but Dave still has to perform. So we'll see what happens. But thank you, Jojo, for being on. And like I said, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and be able to hang out with you, your kids, and Jen.
So
yeah.
Hey, how about he did Mansfield, Hartford, and then they did that little festival. Kind of the same thing, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, you broke up.
So Jen was saying, she's like, hey, didn't they have to do Mansfield, Hartford, and then they did that festival in DC?
Yeah, something in the water. So that was tough. Granted, that festival in DC was a little bit of a quicker show, but still that travel was crazy, right? To go from Connecticut to New Jersey, the show in Hartford ending, they probably get out of there around 10:30, 11. And then they have to, like, the next day they have a day set. So that was tough too.
Yeah.
So this SPAC weekend I think it's perfect because the band had Deer Creek, right? That was they have something in the water's over. They get ready for Deer Creek. And then they have some midweek stuff. Then they have Alpine. Then they have some, Alpine, nothing since Alpine, right? They had a whole week off almost, give or take a day, because technically they had Saturday, Sunday. And now they're at SPAC. So I think this is perfect because, again, like I said, they had some time off, and they're gonna have some time until they get to New Hampshire. So we should see a great band. But hey,
Yep.
get some sleep yourself, and we'll be back up and at it again tomorrow.
I just look at this, the run here and the first 18 songs, and I don't know how you go to bed tonight and not what you saw.
Yeah. Yep. And Shane put in the chat, says everything. Tomorrow's crowd's gonna be even crazier.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna be able to sleep and not go to. Most people won't have to work tomorrow, and more people are coming in for night 2 that aren't here night 1. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome, awesome energy tomorrow. Thank you so much, Jojo, and like I said, have a good rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you to Jojo, and Tony C says I want EHE. Listen, I think EHE is kind of cool. There's a lot more things that I want more than EHE. It's a really good song. Score tonight's poster, and you got the Butterfly Tour poster. Oh, congratulations! And what's hard about that Butterfly poster, Bug poster, is they're not. I'm just gonna say, it's hard to actually get it because they're telling you to buy 2 other posters. Shane, did you have to buy the other posters, or did they just let you buy it straight up? Oh, launching O'Grady. Launching. Are you Dan O'Grady? I tried to ask you last time if you had been. Thank you. Are you Dan O'Grady and DMB family? If so, man, shout out to you. If you have not been to SPAC, go. And what I would say is this. Okay, this is what I would tell you about SPAC. If you don't live in the Northeast. Oh, that's awesome, Shane. So he didn't have to buy the other one. So they just got the bug poster straight up. So maybe they were saving some of those posters for SPAC on purpose, or trying to either get a big payday. But if you're not, this is what I tell people who are from out of town. I mean, I live 2.5 hours from, with traffic, 2.5 hours. Really like 2 hours and 10 minutes if there's no traffic. What I would advise for people, put a request in for SPAC, book a hotel with free cancellation. If you get one of the 2 nights inside in physical seats, then you book your flight. If you get denied both nights, you cancel your hotel and don't come. It is extremely hard. Now you could still try to get tickets, but the thing is, and this is the big thing too, between SPAC, Alpine, and Deer Creek. At Alpine and Deer Creek, there were so many tickets available. Same thing with the Gorge. There's always tickets available. And SPAC sometimes, but your SPAC, you're not guaranteed to have a physical inside ticket available. And it gets worse and worse every year. Years past, like let's just say 5 years ago, you could find a night 1 ticket, right? Someone was selling it, or there were plenty more available. Not anymore. And night 2 is even harder. I mean, some of the trades, there's been 2 wild things going on this week. NCAA conference realignment and SPAC trades. People are trying to trade Grail posters sometimes just to get night 1 and night 2, or try to get pit tick. People will trade a Grail poster to get pits for both nights, which, I mean, honestly, if you like, it's nearly impossible to get pits both nights. And even for lowers, people are trading very, very popular posters, near Grail posters, or a Grail poster, plus some sort of cash on either end. It is hard. And that's why, like I said, most years I'm just happy for people who get that lottery, and I'm not even here. This is only this is on my 3rd show at SPAC. I did 1 Dave and Tim night 1, and then night 2 in 2018. So it looks like there was a stack of 20-ish bug posters available. So yeah, I think they were probably just saving it for SPAC. Because this is a big venue. DMB fans and it depends. Yes and no. It really depends, and a lot of fans are being priced out. I think what I'll say is there are a percentage of fans that have a lot of money they invest in this band and have cash on hand to invest. But yeah, the poster game is crazy. Rocky King says so. What you are, I would love both of those, especially what you are. But yeah, with SPAC, I just tell people that's what I do every year. I put in the lottery, and if I get in, listen, if I can get night 1 or night 2, great. And this year, everything worked out. And shout out to John Dix because he helped a brother out for night 1. And shout out to Valerie as well, because without them, I would not be able to have gotten this night 1. Shout out to both of them. But night 2, I got through the warehouse. But most years I get declined, right? Most years I'm declined. And I mean, listen, it's the hardest ticket in the game. It's not even a debate. It is you could get to the Cosmopolitan at Chelsea easier than getting a SPAC comparable seat, like a lower SPAC front and center, like you're getting at the Chelsea. It is very hard. And the other thing, again, there's just so many. Yes, I'm not trying. And listen, the Midwest has some great DMB fans, by the way. If I had a kid, if you have a child and you said, what part of the country would you bring your child to for DMB shows? I would say the Midwest. Alpine and Deer Creek are the best venues, especially Alpine. I think Alpine overall. Alpine is the best venue to me for kids. When I tell you, and listen, I love, listen, I'm about to get married. I want to, there's going to be a child, Lord willing, everything goes well. That's the plan. Obviously, after we get married, but I love children. My cousin's kids, everyone. I work at my church daycare. But the way that people were treating the children it made me believe in humanity again. Not saying it doesn't happen at other venues, but I saw children and people were really trying to make it a welcoming environment for children, and the children were so well behaved. But I saw fans turning back and smiling at kids. I saw them, high-fiving. I think someone gave a kid something, they asked the parent, I don't know if it was a sticker, whatever. They gave them something, not this, not that. But they were really trying to do. And then one of the kids got a Setlist. Shout out to the DMB Alpine group that I joined. But one of the kids got a Setlist. They made sure in the pit that she was able to get up front to get that Setlist. The Midwest is the best. I have seen children be treated and children behaving. I would say, I know the Gorge is pretty good too. And Deer Creek was a little more crowded. So if you had a kid, it would be a little bit harder. Not going to lie. But Alpine was so I know there are fans in every part of the country. But most of the Midwest fans live in different markets. You had some awesome fans from Minnesota, right? You had your Eau Claire, Wisconsin, right? You had your Milwaukee. Shout out to Jessica and Wayne, right? You had your Chicago, right? You had your St. Louis, you had your Kansas City. The fans in the Midwest are more spread out. So the fans out west, listen, there's a lot of diehard fans, but you don't even get shows out west. Oh, that's the other thing. This I'm gonna clip this. By the way, breaking news. There's a rumored. Let me just put this in. This is actually going to be a big rumored fall tour for 2022. Shows. Okay, so this is what I heard. Shout out to Ants Martin and Bruce from the Corner Gray Street podcast. There is a rumored fall tour, which gives more hope towards an album. And what I'm being heard is that there's MSG shows that are possible. Now, this is something I was talking about the last couple of days on Ants with people. My West Coast folks, listen, the West Coast is the best coast, okay? Well, at least the Pacific Northwest, okay? The South, California. Now, people want to live there. People always want to, there's certain people that will criticize, California left this. I mean, people are still moving there, right? As much as people are moving to Texas and all this stuff, they're still moving to California. Traffic bad. But anyway, I really think there is and I've mentioned this before, these bands don't want to do winter tours out west, even with the beautiful weather and mild winters up in the Pacific Northwest. I really see DMB just doing Philly, DC, Boston, maybe, and New York. Even Charlottesville, it's hard to get people to Charlottesville. The last Charlottesville tour, there were tickets, like there were $1, $2 tickets. Because you can, with Charlottesville, you're going to get that lower filled up and the floor is going to be filled up, but the uppers are hard to sell. And it's a couple hours, but 90 minutes from DC. And really, once you leave like Arlington and some of those other suburbs of Northern Virginia, you're in the middle of nowhere, although that's growing, right? So this band and other bands too, like Pearl Jam did their little spring tour up in the West Coast, but these bands are not doing winter tours out west. A lot of bands, now I will say Colorado, shout out to Shane, you guys get a lot of New Year's runs and fall runs. Like Denver gets a lot of love. Denver and Boulder and Vail and Aspen will have these cool, unique shows. Anything west of there, these artists are not. These artists are saying, look, I can go to New York, DC, Philly, and like all those rides are like 2 hours apart from each other, if not less. Right? Bands and DMB has been doing this more and more. They don't even have a Midwest. Their fall tours is like they just have like 1 or 2 shows in the Midwest, right? Last year they had Kalamazoo, right? No, Grand Rapids, not Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids. They did Grand Rapids and they did Columbus. Columbus is the only guarantee outside of the East Coast. Like how wild is that? There were years where Chicago, those United Center shows were awesome, right? But DMB in the winter, they're literally just saying, look, we're going to cash in on these short little trips. And I bring this in a full circle to say that the Northeast, you have a bunch of fans that they can drive 3 hours and they can hit up 5 or 6 shows, right? So where I live, right? Guilford is like 3 hours from me. Mansfield's an hour and a half. Hartford's down the block. New York City is 2 hours. Saratoga Springs is about 2 hours plus change. Homedale is 3 hours plus the traffic, which may add another hour. Jones Beach is like 2.5, 3 hours. Those are just a couple of venues. Camden is 3.5 hours from me, right? 3.5 hours. I'm 3.5 hours from Camden. If I really wanted to go, it's not that long of a drive, right? So, right, and Dave and Tim make bank for those 3 yeah. So I mean, they have those, but like the West Coast, I don't know what the future of touring is in the West Coast. What I see is Shane, and you're seeing this, Shane, your Red Rock, the Red Rock schedule that you posted is wild. I know you posted one where they were showing everything. Like Denver is really the westernmost city that's guaranteed all these dope concerts, from Billy Strings to Billy Joel. Well, I don't know. Billy Joel hasn't gone out. But anyway, it just sounds cool. But like anything past Denver, LA doesn't get shows like it used to. Like, yes, the Hollywood Bowl is this year, but typically they're not going to LA. And in the winter, you're gonna forget about it. And LA has so much business; they don't need like the Staples Center is not crying that they didn't have DMB, because they're still getting so many things. Like the Staples Center has 2 basketball teams and a hockey team. That's the other thing too. You know, like LA has, they could play the Forum, but it's tough. And even Vegas, someone was telling me, like, someone was saying, "Oh, I wish they would do a winter tour in Vegas." Vegas does not need DMB, and DMB does not need Vegas. That's essentially why they don't play there. Them like, and even so, they play the Cosmopolitan 2020. They done MGM, but they kind of do it periodically. But Vegas has so many acts. Vegas does not even have enough. It's wild. They don't even have enough large scale arenas. They're building like a brand new music type venue there. There'll be a couple more venues. They're gonna build a baseball park, rumored to be there when the Oakland A's finally, figure that out and move to Vegas. They have a new football stadium that has had a couple of major concerts, I believe. Right? Vegas does not have enough venues for the amount of commerce across the board. UFC, entertain, like residencies, right? Bruno Mars and Adele, like they have all these Britney Spears. Like you hear these names. I think Adele postponed or moved that back, but this Vegas is a very, very popular. It's just, and we have our buddy Jack Cooper out there on Twitter. Shout out to him. He's out in Vegas metropolitan area. I've been to Vegas twice myself. I went in 2003 and 2011, and there was just so much kind of like, that's the thing, is like, oh, DMB should play, and they probably can't get the date in the wintertime in Vegas. I've been to Vegas in the winter, and I've been to Vegas in the summer. '03 I did summer. 2011 I did winter. There was so much going on. They don't need DMB. They would rather have a younger, more popular artist that's selling out stadiums like an Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift, right? DMB is still extremely popular, and they know how to get these Vegas, like people will fly to Vegas for DMB, especially the West Coasters. A lot of the West Coast is a flight away from Vegas, 45-minute hour flight from Vegas. Maybe a little longer for our folks in Seattle. But that is breaking news. Rumor Fall Tour 2022 with MSG shows, whatever, that's just what we're hearing is for sure. I don't know what other potential stops there are, but yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Thank you guys who are watching. If you're new, hit the like button, subscribe. I think you guys will like what I'm doing. And all opinions, me and Jojo, we don't agree on certain things, but I welcome all perspective. And the one thing about me is I try to be self-aware. There were songs I don't like. There were songs I like. And some of the songs I like, a lot of fans don't like. Some of the songs I don't like, a lot of fans like. There's stuff in between. Like I love Gray Street. Everyone loves Gray Street for the most part of the show. I love 41. 41 is one of my favorite songs. Most DMB fans like 41. So I like to hear, and if you want to, there's opportunities if you're new and you're going to Camden, if you're going to Guilford. I do like, what I do is if I'm not at a show, I will try to have someone send them a link like Joe, and have you join the show and tell us about the show. The most important thing about this show is we want perspective from people who were there. And if no one comes on the show who was there, I want to try to get videos. I want to try to message. Sometimes I try to text people who were at the show, because I think it's one thing to see this set list, is even something to listen to it on Sirius XM like tonight. Shout out to Ari and the crew, Sirius XM radio. But it's another thing to be there And just like I pointed out, and listen, when I had conversation with Michael T from St. Louis, or I think he's a St. Louis fan of sports. You know, he was like, "Hey, you were there, you know, I get it, but you know, for me to be at some of these shows before, like Alpine and Deer Creek, and then come here, I'm able to tell you, hey, this is now. Someone may go to all three of those shows and disagree, but I want to give you perspective from the show. That's what this is about. And one of the things I've learned over the years is I may have my own opinions about certain shows, certain venues, but when I go, it's different. It's easy to look at a set list on paper and be critical. But when you're there, when you're listening to the crowd, even if you're a diehard fan and don't like certain stuff, but you're there, the crowd will react differently to different things. But that's gonna do it for tonight's show. I do need to get some rest. Check out, if you guys have time. Oops. Don't look at my subscriptions. Check out some cool stuff. I do have this. I'm gonna end on this. Oh, I got some root stuff right here. Right. I have some really cool root stuff. I went to the Roots show on Friday. That was my night zero. I went to the Roots. And by the way, there was a YouTuber there, Anthony Fantano, who was behind me, and I didn't even look back. That's what's wild. I didn't even look back. He has over 1 million subscribers, and he was, I believe, to be right behind me. Actually, yeah, we'll end on some Roots. Yeah, let's end on the Roots. I was gonna do this, but we'll cut it. Yeah. All right, we're gonna put on some Roots to end this show. It's your boy Conserviz34. Thank you guys for the support. I cannot thank everyone. It seems like the algorithms are passing these videos along to you guys, and I'm just very, very appreciative that you guys listen to me. And I've had a goal to really grow this channel, and it's growing. It's not easy to get this stuff out, and it's a limited audience, but you guys who come on every night, you guys, and even I think the thing I met some people today. I met people last weekend and the weekend before. Even if you just watch these videos, you don't comment, I appreciate you, right? It's not just about the people who comment, although I appreciate that as well. But even if you just watch this video, it's in the background, you don't comment. I know I've met a bunch of people in the last couple of weeks that say, hey, we don't, we may not be active in the chat, but we love your work. And I really appreciate that. I'm very, very humbled to see so many people digging what I'm doing. And I plan to continue to do this as long as I can without any interruptions to my family and the things I do as far as volunteering in my community, at my church, and in my community. So those things always come first, right? Before anything. But I have this time. I don't have any kids yet. And I love doing this. And I actually get more joy sometimes doing these streams than parts of the show. I mean, I love going to every Dave show, but I love talking to you guys about the shows just as much, if not more. So we'll end on the Roots. Boy Conserviz34. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Hey, yo, hold up. Look, I never do it. After all those do it. Yeah, how you do that there? Y'all know what's the legendary Roots crew right there? On some real shit. I'ma give you the paper, John. 1 3 2, 1 3 2, 1 3 2. Yeah, lost generation, fast space station. World population is facing a frustration. Principles of true hip-hop been forsaken and so contractual. About money making, pretend to be class, they don't know their limitation. Exact replication, forced representation. You wanna be a man and stay in your home. So see, require skills, I demand some show. Let the force keep running. I home like a sight of the phone. Far from home, giving you what you wantin'. Official hip-hop consumption. When it's stumbling, I keep it jumping with an original under the yoke. Dedicated to the one-dimensional note. Imagination excuse for perpetration, my man can't overlap. Yeah, we know we heard you. So you can hear the biting ass crew, I never do enough. Hey, yo. Yeah, how you do that dance? Y'all know it's a legendary move crew right there. Super James. 1, 2, 1, 2. I said, there's a line that runs between love and hatred. The game's ill natured, nothing sacred. It's funny what I see a lot of people do to make it. If you will blow up or go as far as they can take it. My 9 to 5, they hit y'all, get the party live. Black Thor used to rap for sport. Now the rhyme more gigs, paying life support. So I take it seriously in this industry. Not another rapper that can touch me. I can with the beautiful things, only bless the track plushly. Y'all know the kind of me cause I'm doing tour. Recipient of a pose from all of you and your creator of original songs is in the store. You absorb, take it home, sweat it through your pores. Who can stop the music running through these veins? I live in any over against the grain. Cause my motto is true. Hey, yo. What the blood? Yeah, how we do that dance? Legendary Roots crew. You did. And y'all already know what it is. Get it. Yes, y'all. To the sad sound. Once again, it's a